Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. We're going to talk about something that's a little odd about narcissists is they actually, when things are going good, there's always going to be a cycle where things are going to start to go bad. They need a balance of good and bad. And that's how the destruction happens in these narcissistic relationships. They're used to chaos when they were a child or overindulgence when they were a child. And when they're going through adult life, we all want this perfect, happy life. And the narcissist seems unsettled in what they're getting. It's never enough for a narcissist. And no matter what you try, it throws things off balance, because once they're content and in a happy, what should be a good relationship, they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to start cutting it down in some way. They're going to start complaining about things just because they need that chaos. They're not used to a comfortable situation. I know a lot of you are kind of looking back like, does my narcissist ever think about me? Are they happier with the new supply? Narcissistic minds work in such a different way. And as far as what they felt about you, I do know some narcissists. I've dated narcissists. You'll pop through their mind here and there. I just had a deep conversation with one that is a narcissist, and he was engaged to get married, and he's sending naughty pics, and he's just like, what's the big deal? It's not like I was having sex with these outside women. It's not like I did anything wrong. I was just flirting and sending pictures. And then he was a little ticked when he found out she was doing it too. So it just got out of hand with them. But he looks back and he's like, yeah, I really wish it would have worked out, but you just got to accept that it didn't and move on. It was a toxic relationship. It's probably good that they separated, but the issues could have been worked out. But it's kind of just like, oh, I accept it. And the way their mind works is what I'm kind of interpreting, because I'm trying to relate, like, how can you just turn that off? You're in love with this person, you still wish you were with them. Like, how do you turn that off? And it's kind of like, in my perspective, it's like, or perception, is like what's expected. The narcissist doesn't expect to be truly loved because they feel from their past, either they were never truly loved or they will never measure up, because you have your vulnerable and you have your grandiose. So the best way I can kind of describe it is they expect it's not going to work out. They're not going to measure up, or they're not worth it. And as a mother, my daughter, of course, you expect that eventually they'll grow older, eventually they'll move out and have a life of their own. So I love my daughter to the ends of the earth, and you just expect that this is what happens in life. So your daughter goes off to college, you miss your daughter, you're lucky that you can still have contact with them. So there's a little bit of peace that it's not a complete sever. These ending of narcissistic relationships makes it even harder because it's a complete sever a lot of times. Sometimes the final discard is so harsh too. It's complete coldness. It's not loving, and you were a wonderful person, and where it's truly heartfelt that, I'm sorry, it's just not working out. We have two different dreams, and it's just not, as opposed to how the narcissist does it. So as a mother, you expect your child's going to move out, the love of your life, your little beautiful girl, and you just expect it. And when she was little, the first time, you're like, what? She's spending the night somewhere, you freak out. And it's harder if your child was taken away from you in an earlier stage of life, at 3 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, because it's not expected. That would make you unsettled and longing and trying to do court cases and just beside yourself. So when the expected happens, it's easier to let go of that, like, clinginess. Like, I have to have my daughter with me all the time. So the narcissist expects things to go south, even if it's subconscious. So when they break things off, they want to break it off first. They'll start to feel things, not always, sometimes we get too fed up, but if they break it off first, they a lot of times they feel they can come back. If they break it off first, it's going to throw us off guard, and it's just a power thing that they did it first, so they're still in control. They trauma bond us to where it's that energy, when they go away we come closer, so they're feeling very secure. When it's the other way, when they leave, we don't feel secure, we're chasing them, and then they feel that they can keep running away, we're just going to keep chasing and chasing. The dynamics of these narcissistic relationships are really messed up, that no matter what you do, these narcissists are not happy with happy. You know, there might be periods of time, it might seem like things are going good. A lot of times before like a wedding, there's all the commotion of, you know, making all the plans, and people like talking to you like, oh, congratulations, or I heard, or when's the date? So they're getting supply at that time. Once that supply subsides after the wedding, a lot of times after the wedding, things start to fall apart. It's almost like a postpartum, how women will go through a postpartum depression. It's just, our bodies are just, some of it's the anticipation, some of it is hormonal, kind of some sleep deprivation too when you have a newborn, but the hormones and the expectation, and just everything that you've been in for 9 months is gone, and you're rebalancing. So the narcissist, after they get married, it's kind of like that, like settledness, like it was kind of not really manic, but kind of full of commotion and attention. And as soon as the big to do was after the wedding, they're just a regular Joe again. And Josephine, I just wanted you guys to realize that, you know, a lot of times we look back and we think about all the things we did wrong. It's just a narcissistic cycle, you know, and it blindsides us. We're like, I thought we were doing good. And with my narcissist, every time things went good, that's when we broke up. It was the weirdest thing. And, you know, I've said in a couple of videos, every time I told my friends, I just feel it, we're going to break up. They're like, but why? You guys are getting along. And my response was, exactly. It was a cycle. Is it a cycle you guys want to keep continuing? Is it a cycle that you don't foresee for the new supply? You know, we got this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp case going on. You know, from the outside, it looks like the perfect couple. And from the inside, it was one of the worst. And with the new supply, you know what your narcissist is like, you know, when they ghost you, or whether it's even the things that they've done in previous relationships. Do they skip out and then come back months later? Do they ghost? Do they lie? Do they cheat? Cycles usually continue. And based on the people that I've talked to that are narcissistic or have tendencies of that, there's no remorse, there's no willingness to change. And I think my second one, because we were really good, granted it would have fallen apart probably, you know, but he had to take accountability for kind of how we ended up, and he didn't want to do that. So, you know, he tried getting me, we got pregnant a couple times, but purposely tried to, called my dad, gave me a ring, da 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 da. And then when it was time for us to finally be together, I get ghosted, not even broken up with. And that was like, you know, what was it, 14 years at that time. The last 2 years were promising me, it started out as friends. But the last 2 years is, I promise we'll be together, I'll do right by you. And I didn't even get broken up with. I still saw him intermittently, trying to figure out like what's going on with us, but it was months at times, and you didn't get communication at all for months on end. You start having communication, then it stops, and you're like, what is going on? So finally, when I was like, this is retarded, he finally is like, yeah, you know, come see me. And that's when I found out that He's living with someone else. So still lying to me, still saying, because I'm trying to figure it out. Are you dating anybody else? No. I said, he's telling me he just needs time for himself and, all this crap. And they don't care how much they destroy your life. They don't care how much you hurt. They don't care to listen to your words, to where you're like, I just want to, if we're not going to be together, I just want to know if you're alive or dead so I can be settled. And, you're screaming and you're crying. It sounds like your whole family was murdered, how upset you get. They just ignore that. And the narcissist I was talking to earlier, he was talking about a friend of his. It's a male female friend. They used to date. They definitely don't now because they know it's just too crazy. It's too heated, but they're still best friends. They don't live together or anything. But he was like, I just shut down. Like, she wants to say this. And he was also talking about his roommate. He's like, yeah, he's trying really hard to talk to me, trying so hard to make me laugh. I'm just sitting on my phone because I don't want to hear it. I'm mad at his mom. It's causing problems between them because he's kind of standing up for mom, or not enough for the narcissist. And they just shut down. And they even admit, like, I don't want to hear it. She wants to tell me she's right. I know what she does. I don't have to hear it. And sometimes we just need to say things, we just want somebody to listen to us. We're not in a relationship to just sit quietly. And if we did that, we'd probably get bitched at too. So it's a no-win situation in a narcissistic relationship. So as soon as things start seeming like, okay, things are going good, as long as they stay busy and not idle, as soon as they're idle, that's why a lot of times when the kids move out, they'll sometimes not want to look like the bad guys, so they'll stick it out till the end of the child before they graduate, after they graduate, and then they bail. There's a lot of statistics on that. If you guys are with somebody who is in a like, if you're the mistress, or I don't know if it'd be called the mister, but if you're the outside person and you're being promised that this person's going to be with you, just know statistically that happens only 6% of the time. And the reason of that is not necessarily anything to do with who you are. You could be the best of the best and have the best sex and best relationship. But as soon as that narcissist has to tell the world, and if the world knows about you, that you were the side person, it's going to make them look bad, immoral, looked down upon. The kids are going to say stuff. And so the narcissist is just going to bail. They don't want to take accountability. Very rarely does it ever happen, 6% of the time. And a lot of times those relationships don't last anyways. So if you're hoping that your narcissist is going to leave their spouse, they might. It doesn't happen that often, but they do. Very rarely will they end up with you, though. So you'll wait all that time and have the as good as it can be in the situation if they're still living with their husband or wife. And then they're going to bail on you. And, it's heartbreaking that, they destroy so many lives. And a lot of it is, they could have taken accountability with the spouse and said, I'm just not happy. Or they could have taken accountability and said, no, this is the person I really am in love with. I outgrew my spouse or whatever. Or hopefully they could work out their marriage and be honest with you. They just play like a game because they get a kick out of it. They love secrets. They just don't want to get caught. If there was a way that a narcissist could get away with whatever they wanted, they would do it. They would do it. And they just don't have the empathy to build a bond. So it's just like, having Sunday tea with some of your friends, just people that you casually know. And it was like, that was a really nice time. That's the depth of their relationship. They don't go into those panic modes of, are you leaving me? Unless it's for the supply. Is it like, great, now nobody's going to think I'm attractive, I'm never having sex again, or is anybody going to love me, or will I have a place to stay? If you listen to their words, there was another video somebody did. The house was the wife was very abusive, like a narcissistic. I don't know her, but she definitely had some traits. And you hear this recording. He's finally at the point where it's like, it's over. And her response wasn't, but I love you, or what about our family? Or her thing is like, where am I going to live? This is my, my house. I think he paid for it, but either way, maybe they built it together, but it sounded like he paid the bills, and she's freaking out about the house, not the family, not the husband. The way she treated her kids was terrible. She was so cold to the kids. And the kids crying like, when am I going to see you again? The mom was like, probably never. And I mean, the kid was, I don't even remember, I don't know, 2 to 6 years old. It was a while ago I saw it, but it was like, this kid is freaking out, probably 3, 4, 5. And the mom is like that cold. They just are so wrapped up in their own emotions that they say so many things that can hurt people. I mean, that kid going through that, like, is that not freak out mode where I'm never going to see my mom again? And the mom doesn't understand what she is saying. Some of you think about staying for the kids' sake. Sometimes it's healthier not to stay together. So I just wanted you guys to realize that, unfortunately, they're so unbalanced that they're like, right now, to be honest with you guys, what I am going through is readjustment after freaking out for all those months upon months. Like, we're supposed to be together. Of course, I'll do right by you, and ghosted. I don't know if the person's alive or dead. I was out of state, couldn't go figure things out. I was being respectful. My respect for not reaching out to people I didn't really know, but would know the answer, is causing me a lot of grief, because I could release my pain, but I wanted to be with this person, and I was worried how that would affect his life. I had a miscarriage and was bleeding out, needed blood transfusions, and I was worried about how it would affect his life, because he was spending, it was over Christmas, he was spending Christmas with his kids. I'm bleeding out, 45 minutes from death. That's how empathetic I was. What did I get in return? 2, 3 days later, it's like, oh, well, you're home now, and no empathy. And it's just cold. It's just cold how they are. These are the people that we've dedicated our lives to. These are the people that we fell in love with. So I know it hurts. But think of that little kid where mom's like, you may never see me again. How cold they can be. So you're going to have your cycles. And there's going to be times that your narcissist is going to be super cold to you. My best friend is in a relationship with a narcissist. And the things I hear him say while I'm talking to her on the phone are horrendous. The things he posts on Facebook. And they're little jabs, but they're directed at her, totally directed at her. Pretty harsh ones too. I can't remember, there's something about, they kind of argue, he doesn't like her cooking, but wants her to cook. And it's always an argument. But I wish I could remember what his Facebook post was, but it was like kind of crude, crass, and rude, and harsh. And it was about her. It was just a meme, so he got away with it. But it was totally directed at her. She knows that. And people looking from the outside in are going to be like, oh, that was kind of funny. Not knowing that he's hurting somebody and doing it in reaction to what he felt about her not cooking. Because she's had it to where he's never appreciative. They got in a horrendous fight when she said, babe, would you like more? Is that enough butter on the, I think, green beans? He just went off on her. And she's like, I'm just trying to ask, and it got into this like argument. He wouldn't listen, and all he had to do was say, oh, thanks for asking. Oh, this is fine. Or, yeah, can I get another pat of butter? The arguments they have are mind-blowing. Like, I can't imagine arguing about whether or not I want more butter. And his reply was just like the narcissist does. You should know. You should know. And okay, maybe we should know, but is it that hard to say yes or no? And that's what drives us crazy. There's so little respect for us. They devalued us, even if you're with them. So big hugs to you guys. Stay strong, and comment below. Topic requests are welcome, and one-on-ones are available. Have a great day.